Rock stars, welcome to the Guitar Show. It's the 23rd. It's the 23rd day of the 30-day guitar challenge. Friends, if you're new to this, we're going live every single day during the month of April. I'm guiding you through this since we're all here together in this. And it takes 21 to 30 days to develop a habit. So that's what we're doing together. We're going through this. I'm walking you through the Unstoppable Guitar System Standard. Super fun, super easy to get involved with this. The very first link below will give you access to the PDF, and the second link below that will give you access to the Unstoppable Guitar System Standard. Pretty cool, right? For free. And today, folks, what we're talking about is, if you're still having issues with your strumming, I got a little trick for you. We talked about it yesterday. We're going to talk about it again today. We're going to further drive this home. And then in the second part, I've got a special treat for you, okay? We're going to talk about chord progressions that work well, okay? Chords that work well together to create a chord progression. A progression is a progression of chords, right? And we're going to talk about that. Which chords should work well together, okay? And then also, what are the kind of the top chord progressions that work well together, okay? We're going to talk about that for the second hour. Friends, if you have not already, you know what to do. Thumb up this video if you like it. If you've done it already, don't do it again. And then share this video and also subscribe if you would. All right, we're gonna get into this right away. We got lots of stuff to cover and more questions than anything else today because I've been getting a lot of social media questions, a ton. I mean, like I literally can't even keep up with it. It's so many. And a lot of it has to do with the stuff that we're talking about here. So I want to get to all that. What's with the trucker hat? If you saw the hair underneath it, ooh, you would know why the trucker hat. Okay? All right, Stephen Keller, thanks so much for the kind donation right out of the gate today. Beautiful. That's right, we'll hit 700 today. Let's think 700. I'd love that. In fact, I'd love to hit 800. We've done 700 5 times now. Let's do 800 today, okay? Okay, let's get into this, friends. A lot of folks have issues with strumming, right? A lot of folks have issues with it. And it's only because they haven't conditioned their brain to understand what we're trying to do here, which is keep the down strum in tandem with the down beat and the up strum in tandem with the upbeat. So we said when we're tapping our foot, right, to a song, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Our down strum should be down on the downbeat, right? Makes sense. When our foot's coming up, that is the upbeat. And so we want to strum up, 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 okay? Now, even though that probably makes more common sense to you, what happens is when we start dropping strums, mainly down strums, if we're dropping an up strum, it's not so bad. So like if we're going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and that sort of thing. If we do that, that's pretty natural. But if we drop a downbeat out, that can be a little bit weird, like 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and that's where some folks run into problems. So yesterday, was it yesterday? No, it was 2 days ago. It was on the 21st. Yesterday was Earth Day. The 21st, the day before Earth Day, we talked about this and we could see the light bulb going on for folks, right? They were like, okay, yes, it is Superman's kryptonite, Cal. It is indeed. You see people going, I got this, and then once they do a ghost strum on the down strum, right, down strum ghost, they get confused. And they're like, I don't know what's happening. And it's like kryptonite. It's like literally like they malfunction and they're like, what am I doing wrong? You're not doing anything wrong. When we understand the psychology of things, it really makes so much sense. It explains things, okay? So that's what we need to do, is we need to understand why that is. Lee, thanks so much for the donation, buddy. As always, you always come through. Thank you very, 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 very much, bud. So when we're doing this down strum and we're missing the strings, that is our ghost strum. Now, psychologically, when we're doing this coming up, it's not an issue for whatever reason. I don't know. I haven't really analyzed it, why it's not an issue, but it's not. I think because it's not as strong of a beat. So when we're not strumming down, when we're not hitting the strings, we need kind of a reason to put our hand down like this. That may seem confusing to you, but what I've analyzed this from teaching thousands of students. And the thing about it is that if you're having issues with this, then we're on the same page. It's just you haven't thought about it another layer deep like I have, because I've needed to help these students out, right? So what I came up with was this. I said, hit your knee or tap the bottom of your guitar on the down strum that you're skipping. So let's say we're skipping number 3. Okay, we're skipping the 3rd down strum. So it's gonna look something like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, right? So there's 2 tricks. One of the tricks that I showed you was tapping your foot or your knee or the bottom of your guitar. Addie, thank you again for the donation. So kind. So we go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And if you say, hey, I'm going to tap the bottom of my guitar, or I'm going to tap my thigh or my knee on the missed down ghost strum, then I have a reason to hit to go down here, and then I'll be in tandem with the down strum, up strum. If this is sounding Greek to you, it's probably that you haven't investigated this with the strumming and you haven't run into this problem yet. But when you do, you'll know to come back to this exercise here, okay? So I said that that's one way that you can do it. Now there's another way that you can do it, which is what I call big strumming. And basically what it is it's taking really dramatic, accentuated swipes at the guitar. Instead of strumming small like this, you're doing these big strums, big strumming, okay? You're exaggerating it. It would look something like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now, why are we doing such a ridiculous thing? I'll tell you. So glad you asked. It is because when you're doing these big swipes at the guitar, it's harder for you to make a mistake when it's so blatant, right? It would be like if we were drawing. My handwriting's not very good, but the bigger I do it, the more I can keep an eye and I can keep real smooth lines and what have you. If you see me draw on paper, it looks ridiculous. The smaller I draw, the more ridiculous the letters look. If I go out on the concrete out here and I start playing with my little boy here, my son, and we start using sidewalk chalk and I write really big, I've got great handwriting because it's really big and I can look, and these are big motions, and I can see what's going on, right? Same thing here. When we're doing these strums, 1 and 2 and 4 and, then what happens is it really makes it apparent when it is that you're stalling, because people do this. They go 1, let's say they're strumming small, they're going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then they get stuck, right? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. We're doing real big strums, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now if you want to combine it with tapping the knee, then that's a great thing to do. James, thanks for the donation, my friend. Beautiful. Hit the knee, hit the bottom of the guitar, but add this big strumming part, okay? If you want to know more about that, I have another video for you in the Unstoppable Guitar System Standard. Friends, that's the one I'm giving you for free today. We have literally had hundreds of thousands of folks go through those first 30 videos. Friends, they absolutely built a solid foundation. And if I never see you again, that would make me sad. I want to see you again, but at least you would have this massive foundation. You could go and take a lot of other guitar lessons and stack on top of that. But without a foundation, it's hopeless. You have to have a foundation, okay? You know me. I totally am a hopeful person. But if you don't, going into algebra without learning addition and subtraction and multiplication and division, it's hopeless. That's a fair statement, right? If you want to be a doctor of medicine, you have to go to school. I don't know of any doctors of medicine in the US, right, who are just opening up a practice and they're not a doctor, right? They haven't gone through schooling, so you got to do it. Okay, make sense? All right, let's get to some questions today. I told you we'd jump through this really quick. Is standard always free? It is, Sal. It is always free. I provide that to you guys for free so that you can get in there at any point and do this, okay? I told you I've got a real special treat for you in the second part of the hour. I didn't tell you what it was, but this is what I'm going to do. Chord progressions that work well. So we're going to talk about all the chords and how they can work, how all the types of chords that work. We kind of touched on this, right? But we're going to talk about chord progressions that work well. So the ones that work the best, if you will, the most popular ones. But what I'm going to do, the special treat for you is I'm going to show you how I might think about the guitar. I'm not sure why I'm pointing at my ears because my brain's behind my ears. But the way that I think about let's take these basic 3 or 4 chords and let's create a really cool chord progression out of it, okay? And how to orchestrate it in such a way using chord noodling, using bar chords, using the caged system, using springboards, and all the things that we've been learning this month to have access to the entire fretboard so that we can create and we're not just stuck down here, okay? I'm going to show you that today. All right, let's get to some questions. Rich is saying, can you talk about adding 16th notes into our strumming? Yes, Rich. And there's not really much to think about here. You don't have to overthink it. It's essentially just doubling up your picking hand. So if we're counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and the downbeat is the number, then we're strumming on the downbeat. Now when we do 16th notes, that means there's 4 notes per beat, right? So this is a beat, 1, 2 beats. So a measure would be 4 beats, 1, 2, 3, 4. Call them 16th notes because 4 times 4 is 16. So there's 16 notes in that measure. So we got 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. So in this case here, right, our down strums are on the numbers and the ands. Okay, now don't let that confuse you. Some people go, oh, but you said the ands are always up. I did. When we're talking chord, when we're talking 8th notes, but when we're talking 16th notes, just do it twice as fast, okay? And you're just tapping your foot on the numbers. So 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4. Now notice I'm still strumming down on those numbers. It just so happens that since we're doubling up, the and will be a downbeat, a down strum. Watch. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and. Makes sense? So that's obviously the structural way to do it. Does that make sense? So don't overthink this, okay? Can you touch on muted strumming, for example, in the style of John Lennon's Stand By Me? I've never heard that song, Stand By Me, by John Lennon. I haven't heard it. But, you know, you can mute with the right hand like this. Usually you would mute on the 3, or 1 and 2 and, the 2 and the 4 is really where you would do this. 1 and 2 and, let's see, 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and, woo, my pick flew out of my hands there. How about that? 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4. You could just do it on the 2, you could do it on the 4, but I have a video for this on YouTube. Search YourGuitarSage snare, because I talk about adding a snare, that type of sound. So like, and that creates a nice little percussive bit as you're playing through your, you know, through your chords, right? UGS Life, a member from Cocoa Beach, now in Asheville. Great lessons. Beautiful, Kip. I'm sure you know that I'm from Cocoa Beach, right? Cocoa Beach, Merritt Island. My mom still lives in Cocoa. We're just talking about going and visiting her at some point here. So beautiful. Yeah, thank you so much, Kip. I appreciate that, buddy. Really kind. Is the A form the same as the A shape? Yeah, when we're talking about forms and shapes, we're talking about the same thing. We're talking about the way that they look, okay? Yeah, I like that sound too when we're talking about, you know. Now, I know the song Stand By Me. I don't know if that's the John Lennon one. Stand by me, oh darling, won't you stand by me, even with my moaning voice. Stand by me, oh darling, won't you stand by me. Okay, I love that percussion sound too. It's really cool, right? Cal says, ah ha ha ha, ah, ha ha ha, wow, you're pretty old. Thanks, Cal. All right, what is old? Like, right? What does that even mean, old? Should I learn to play songs one at a time until I master it and then move on from learning another song? Here's the answer. Do what keeps you playing in the game. So if you get bored of one song and you gotta hop to another song, but it keeps you moving to hop around to different songs, then do that. That's fine, okay? Don't worry about that. All right. Does the beat remain the same when you change to another chord in doing a song? Yes, the beat just stays the same the whole time. Indeed. Okay, what were the chords and measures on Stand By Me? You just played, please. So C, A minor. Oh, thanks, Emmy. F, G. I think Cal might be from Africa, which is fine. It's like what I noticed that people from different countries talk in different ways, and people from Africa are just like, oh my God, you look super old, because they don't have all the filters that we have here where we're like, you can't say that someone's old. Oh my God, I'm offended. So I'm not offended by that, but thank you, Emmy. Yeah, Cal's harmless. He's sweet. Or she, whatever. They're just, you know, people from different countries talk in different ways. We got different filters, if you will, right? So F, G is the exact same pattern as a Bollywood song called Darase. Yeah. Oh, this is a million songs. Sleepwalking, right? Except this, they put a minor chord right there instead of a major chord. So that is a million chord progressions from a million songs. Yeah, indeed. Okay. Can you touch on tremolo picking with one string? Yeah, so tremolo picking is when we take a pick and we just do strict alternate picking. People say, well, how do I do it fast? Well, first you got to do it smooth. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. You've heard that if you're in the military. And so essentially, you just want to sit there and pick on one note. If that gets boring, switch to another note, but it's all a matter of getting used to your pick. Probably will work better for you if you use a thicker pick because it's not bending as much. And that pick's a little too thick for me. Sometimes I'll plant my hand. In that case here, I was just floating. But you'd have to build some stamina for that. Please do, kids, just for fun, right? Folks love this one. I wish I had written it. It's a great tune. Kids, right by MGMT. Right? My goodness gracious, Aaron Hicks, $100 donation, brother. Thank you. That is amazingly generous. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, buddy. Wow. Hey, Eric, I'm loving your methodology, and going through your UGS program has helped me put all the puzzle pieces together. Beautiful. Love that, Aaron. Thank you. And that is just incredibly generous. Thank you, thank you. Question: the G major scale forms the G major scale forms are standardized, but the jazz modes are, question mark. I've learned the major scale with 3 notes per string. Okay, I'm not sure what you mean by that, Aaron, but I'm going to get your question answered because that's a very extremely generous donation. So here's, now we went over this yesterday, Aaron, and it goes like this. Whether you're using 3 notes per scale or 3 notes per string, or you're using any version of it, it doesn't matter. You could be doing this on 1 string, you could be doing it on a 1 octave scale, doesn't matter. But these are the modes that come from the major scale. So here's the great news, Aaron. And now let me make sure I understand your question. The G major scale forms are not standardized, but the jazz modes are. Okay, Aaron, you're going to have to let me know what you mean by standardized, because I don't know what you mean by that. Standardized, okay? You probably know this then already, right? That when you play a major scale from 1 to 1, that will be whatever this note is, whatever that 1 note is, you're playing the major scale. If you play it from the 2 to the 2, then you will have the Dorian mode, and the 2 will be your tonal center. So in this case, A, if you were playing from a G major scale. And so on and so forth. So if you play it from the 3 to 3, it would be the Phrygian in the 3rd note, or the actual note that you start on, the 3, is the tonal center, if you will, if we're calling that a tonal center of a mode, okay? But let me know what you mean, Aaron, by standardized, because I'm not sure what you mean by that, and I want to get your question answered. That's really, really kind, all right? Joe is saying, how do you donate? And to donate, at the bottom left, where you normally would type, there's a smiley face, and next to that, there's a US dollar symbol. If you click that, there's a way to donate. So, wow, Aaron, thank you. I want to get that question answered for you, so I'm going to be looking. I'm going to be looking here, okay? Cal, you're back in, my friend. Yes, you can chat. Yes, please. Why is the video resetting? Is it resetting? Why the hat today? Because my hair, it was a hat day. I just woke up and I said it's a hat day. Green sleeves first, if I remember this one, yeah. Let me get this thing in tune first. All right. That's Greensleeves, which is anonymous. No one knows who wrote that. How about that? Sad. Okay. Yes. All right. So let's get into some more questions. So Aaron, did you tell me more detail there? I'm looking for your question. I'm not sure what you mean by standardized, but I want to make sure that I get that question answered for you. So hit me up, Aaron. Let me know. I'm looking for you. What do you mean by that? Okay, I don't know. I'm going to keep looking for you here. Do you anchor your wrist while finger picking? Sometimes I do, sometimes I do not. It just depends. Wow, Anne-Marie Patton, look at these donations today, my friends. This is extremely generous. Wow. Anne-Marie Patton, thank you so much. Love your teaching style, the content, and the fact that you create a foundation that I can continue to build upon. I appreciate you. Thank you. Anne-Marie, thank you. I appreciate you. That's super kind. And I love that you get that. Sometimes when, you guys know this, you've done this before, where you create something or you have plans for something and you don't know if it's good in your own head and what have you, and then you introduce it or you show it to somebody, and some people are gonna poo-poo it and then other people are gonna appreciate it. So listen to the people that appreciate it, and the people that poo-poo it, maybe they have a better idea, but they're not coming to you with kindness, right, and saying, hey, this is how you can improve it. You probably don't want to listen to them, but do listen to them. Maybe they want to improve things. But I love that. Thank you. I'm so glad that you get that and that it makes sense to you. MSG. Well, yeah, I wish I could do that with the karaoke bit, but honestly, I've learned so many songs, but I don't remember them all. So it might not be as good as you think it might be. I probably wouldn't remember a lot of the songs. All right. How you know what bass to play with chords? Artie de Alcohol. So the letter name of the chord. So if I'm playing a G chord, then G is usually the bass note. If I'm playing a C chord, then C is usually the bass note. If I'm playing an A minor chord, then A is the bass note. So usually it's the letter name of the chord is what you want to put in the bass. And if you don't put the letter name of the chord in the bass, then it's either an inversion or some sort of slash chord. A slash chord means you're playing a chord, but then there's another note represented in the bass that's not the letter name of the chord, right? So if it's a C/G, then you play a C chord, but you'd put a G in the bass. A little bit different, Okay, good. How many songs do you keep under your fingers? I've learned thousands of songs, but after a while they kind of all start running together, and if you don't play them all the time, so I don't know how many. I probably know thousands of songs, or could play thousands of riffs from thousands of songs, but play them all the way through, I can't say. So I don't try to keep a certain number of songs in my repertoire. I don't. Now, if I was playing live with a band again and we had 60 songs, that I'd say 60, that I would know from beginning to end type of thing. Yeah, music is an investment you make day by day and practice by practice. It's like anything, working out, meditation, whatever. If you invest the time in it, you're going to see the return, and the more often you do it per day, the longer you do it per day, typically you're going to yield more. Yes, 100%. Once you learn the basic structure, is it easy to play bass? Yeah, and in fact, Michael, before the 30-day guitar challenge started, by the way, friends, we are so close to our 700 range. We're 40 away from 700. So, and I told you at the beginning of the program, I'm definitely feeling 700. I'd love to see 800. So, 700 is just, yeah, we're going to hit that. Let's do it. So be thinking 700, that collective consciousness again, right? Let's hit 700, and then I'd love to hit 800. So let's do it. 700 first, though. So yeah, if you search YourGuitarSage guitar bass, I did a lesson at the end of March that was like, if you know how to play guitar, you know how to play bass. I also did one, if you know how to play guitar, you know how to play ukulele, because essentially they're very similar instruments, and I show you how in those, okay? The bottom 4 strings of a guitar are the same names of the bass strings on a standard 4-string bass. It's just that they're 1 octave lower, so it's E, A, D, G. So if you're playing in the band and your bass player doesn't show up that day and you want to play bass, well, when your guitar player is playing a G, you play a G, you play the 3rd note, the 3rd fret of the low E string, just like that guitar player would be playing. Cool? Makes sense? Sure it does. All right. Okay. I've been playing acoustic guitar for 2 years. I still struggle with hammer-ons on higher strings. What should I do? Tisha, keep practicing, number 1. But you need to know how to practice, right? You got to know how to practice. When you're practicing hammer-ons, the objective is you want the finger to snap onto the string. So it's not that you're pressing very hard, it's more of a very quick movement. It's like if you were swatting a fly, right? Or if you were, that's the best I could say, it's like swatting a fly. It's not that you need to have all this force like a punch, but it's a very, very quick movement, right? It's a snapping movement. And so here, this is a snapping movement. I'm not doing it very hard, but I'm doing it very quickly. And a lot of times people get those two confused. It's just force, right? So they just think you do it hard. You don't do it hard, but you do it quickly and you do it precisely. The only way to do it. All right, we're back. We're back. Here we go. All right, so I think Aaron did put his question back in here, didn't he? Okay, I've learned the major scale with 3 notes per strings, but going over your lessons, you show the forms with 2 notes per string on some. Do the forms have a set fingering, or is it up to the guitarist? Aaron, good news. I have those 3 note per string modes for you as well. If you're in UGS, which it sounds like you are, if you're in UGS Pro, then search 3 notes or 3 notes per string, and I'll get exactly that for you, okay? In fact, I'll show them to you right now. But yes, I have that. Chuck Pops Partington, who sent me an amazing picture of himself in some new YGS swag. He just bought the new YGS swag, which if one of my team would drop that link in here during the broadcast, that would be great. But Chuck just sent me a picture of him in the YGS swag, and he looked like a gangsta. He looked like a rock star. So Chuck, thank you, bud. This old vet wants to say thanks again for doing this. I've grown by leaps and bounds joining your system. Salute to you, Chuck. Thank you so much, bud, and I love you in that picture. Beautiful. Holy Toledo, Ohio, Charles Bryan, and doesn't even have a question, but this Charles, dear Lord, my friend, thank you. That is the biggest donation that we've ever received. So, and it looks like you are in a uniform there, so you're either military or a pilot or something. Charles, thank you, my friend. Wow. That is unbelievable. So kind. We've never had a donation of that size. So, Charles, you win the Grand Poobah prize. Beautiful. Woo! Dear Lord. That's amazing. Thank you, Charles. Let me know how I can help you, buddy. Because this is the first time I'm seeing your beautiful face. And you come out of the gate with $200. So kind, bud. Let me know how I can help. That's amazing. John, thank you for the donation. Hola, Mr. Sage. Been playing on and off for 30 years, but stuck on the same few chords and pentascales. Can UGS help a faux beginner, intermediate dad? Indeed, John, it can. That's what I designed it for, is to help you to get through those chords. John, I would suggest going through the first 30, okay? A lot of people, they say, hey, I got to talk to you about this. And it's like, you probably don't, because 99% of everything you're going to ask is in UGS standard, and I give that to you for free. go through that first. Someone hit me up on Instagram the other day. They said, I need your phone number. I really got to talk to you. I said, I bet you don't. I bet you really need to go. I said, did you go through the first 30 lessons? They said, no. I said, go through those first 30. We'll talk after you go through those 30, because you got to show yourself worthy, right? You got to show yourself approved. You have to be true to that. I'm still reeling over Charles' $200 donation here. That's amazing. Thank you. So John, yeah, go through those first 30. That's going to get you where it is that you need to get to, and then you can move on from there. You can once you build that solid foundation, you can go so far with that. But you definitely have to build that solid foundation. Yes, I promise you. It's step by step. It's like if you were to teach someone how to do algebra, right? You got to teach them addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, probably in that order, and then there's some other things you got to teach them as well. But once they have that, look, if I teach you the alphabet, right, and I teach you how to pronounce each one of those words, I teach you phonics, and then I teach you how to read, to assemble those, right? It's like now you're reading. My wife was telling me that that really basically the curriculum that my son is on right now, that once you teach them how to read, then they literally can start self-teaching themselves. And that's what he's doing right now. He's self-teaching himself, and that kid's smart as a whip. So 672, 674, we're going up, friends. 700, here we come. 700. Woo! 200 large, that's right. Wow, unbelievable. Unbelievable, Charles. Thank you so much. Is the complete guitar system on Udemy, is it different than UGS? Yes, it's not nearly as big as what Unstoppable Guitar System is. It's great. It's the reason that's the number one. 678, friends. We're going up. We're going up to 700. We're going past 680. Here we go. It's happening. The complete guitar system, there's a reason that's the number one guitar lesson series on Udemy. It's because it sucks. Now, it's because it's good, and we've got a great community there as well, but it's not the same thing as the Unstoppable Guitar System. Unstoppable Guitar System is much more powerful, a lot more videos, all the jam tracks, all the live broadcasts. It's hella bigger and hella more helpful for you, okay? Beautiful. Woo! We unschooled our daughter, the best thing ever. And Burner, if you lived closer, we'd be buds, because everything you say, I'm like, unschooled our daughter, right? Wow, that's a rabbit hole. I can't go down it. I got to teach you guys about guitar, but yes, yeah. I went to college. I graduated college. In fact, I went to college for about 9 years. And when my daughter said, Dad, what should I do? Should I go to college? I said, I wouldn't go to college. One man's opinion. But I said, dude, find out what it is that you want to do. If I could go back, what I would do is I would be doing what I'm doing right now. I learned some stuff in college, but not nearly as much as the way that I learn now when I go and I deep dive into a course on Gaia, or I deep dive into videos on YouTube, or, ooh, here comes the Amazon guy. I wonder what he's got for me. So like I learned so much more then, and don't you learn so much more when you're like, dude, I want to learn how to play guitar. I want to learn how to play guitar. And then you deep dive into it and you learn like this, as opposed to sitting in history class. If you don't want to learn history at that time, you're like, you don't retain it because you're not absorbing it. So for me, I really want to delve into things as I am love it, and now I love history. Now I love science. I even love math to some degree now, right? But it's like, how do you learn that? How do you teach that to a kid who doesn't want to learn it at that time, right? I know college is no longer necessary. It's becoming less and less necessary for the same reason that news is becoming less and less necessary, because it's not true, and half the time they're lying to us. And if they're lying to us half the time, how do you know what part is true and what's not true? So now we go to YouTubes, right? And we say, and we find our tribe, and yeah, it's true. It's a system that's going away. Yes, and everybody sees this. Like so many people see this. Of course, not everybody's on the same wavelength, and we're not all on the same platform and what have you. And some people come to it at different times, but it's happening. It's very, very, very obvious. If you take, go back 30 years, no one was saying that. No one was saying these things, right? Another donation just came in. So kind, Jez. Appreciate it, buddy. So kind. Thank you, thank you. All right, lots of questions. Let's get into this here. I want to dig in. 20 minutes. I've got a special treat for you today, okay? A special treat. We're at 674, friends. I got a special treat for you regarding those chord progressions and what chords work well together, okay? We're going to talk about that. Lots of questions. Show a string skipping pattern to practice, please. Here's what you want to do. Arif, exercise number 1 that's in the Unstoppable Guitar System that's free for you today. Top 30-something lessons, right? Exercise number 1. You can use this with string skipping. So instead of going from one string to the next like this, instead of doing that, what you're going to do is you're going to go to 1, 3, 2, 4, 3, 5, 4, 6, 6, 4, 5, 3, 4, 2, 3, 1, like this. Watch. So here's string 1, string 3, string 2, 4, 3, 5, 4, 6, 4, 5, 3, 4, 2, 3, 1. And you can do that with any of the exercises that I give you. Exercise number 2, any of these will work great. Okay? What is the song you fingerpick with the melody of G, A, B, D, E, F sharp, E, D, B? What is the song you fingerpick with the melody of G, A? I don't know what you mean by that, Larry. You're going to have to get a little bit more specific with me. Are you saying an actual song that I fingerpick? Are you talking about... Is that what you're talking about? No. That's what you're talking about, right? That's probably it. G, A, B, D, E, F sharp, E, D, B. That's called Kids, Larry. Nice. Beautiful. That's the song, Larry. That's Kids. I have a performance for that. By the way, we're at 681, my friends. 18 away from 700. Woo! Here we go. Oh, 14 away. It's happening. Here it comes. Here's the tidal wave. So I have a video for that where I perform it, and then I also have a video for it where I teach it. So what I want you to do, Larry, is search YourGuitarSage Kids, and I'll show you how I play that. Oh yeah, Jedi mind trick. Ready? 700. 700. 700. My wife hates when I do that to her when we're playing a game, and I always win when I do that. It messes with her. By the way, 695. Look at that. I'm telling you, man. 700. It works every time. I love it. Woo! What model of guitar is that? 699. Here we go. This is a Faith Blood Moon series. So it's called the Venus Electro Cut Blood Moon. Venus Electro Cut Blood Moon. Okay. Oh, thank you, Renato. It should be 7,000. Okay, right? Thank you. I agree. College doesn't mean much unless you apply yourself afterwards. It's true. Why do I want to search for my kids? I'd rather not find them, Larry says. Larry. Yeah, this is a beautiful guitar that was sent to me by the folks at Faith. And it really is a beautiful guitar. I love the way it plays. I love the way it sounds. I did have it set up. I had it professionally set up. And that made all the difference in the world. Faux show. All right, beautiful. Any feeding worms to the fish in the river today? I know it looked like I was, oh, 701, by the way. Woo, 703. We're over 700, my friends. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, because of you. Beautiful. And thanks for sharing this too, friends. Beautiful. No, I didn't feed the worms to the fish. I didn't do that. I know it looked like that, but because somebody else said that, oh, that's so funny. That's what you did. But I didn't do that. I was just like, I had the worms, and then there was a picture of me looking at the water, but I didn't throw the worm in the water. Um, but no, I did not. Joe is asking bone, bridge, and nut on the acoustic. So it just depends on what you like, Joe. One of my favorite guitars is my SG. I have a 1969 SG, and it's one of my favorite guitars, and it doesn't have a bone. I'm not sure what the nut is made of. Maybe bone, I'm not too sure. But the bridge for sure is not. It's like made of like that hard silicone or rubber or something. And that guitar, man, God, I love that guitar. It sounds amazing. So it just depends on what you want, you know. Try to get out of the idea of thinking best and what is best for you. Somebody said play U2. Now, here's the deal, Gil. I'm going to play a chord progression that U2 likes to believe that they came up with, but they didn't. It's the oldest chord progression in the history of ever. And I'll play that chord progression, but guess what, U2? It's not yours. But I'll play that chord progression because it's been played in a million other songs, okay? And then I'll play it in the style of U2, but it won't be their song. It will not be, okay? Someone's saying, electric or acoustic, which do you think is better? There is no better. There's what it is that you like. So do you like chocolate or vanilla better? Some of you say vanilla, some of you will say chocolate. There's not a better. It's what do you like? So right now I love the acoustic guitar for strumming, and especially I'm showing you how to strum, right? But when I want to have these effects and run that through my Kemper here, I'm going to use the electric, okay? Okay. Oh, Debbie. Debbie's been unwell, but she's okay now. All right, Debbie, I'm so glad you're back. Well, we got all of these videos waiting for you, okay? So you can watch them at your own convenience, at your own time, okay? Is there a different way to play B flat? Unfortunately, Peter, there's not. That's the way that you're gonna play it just like you would that wicked bar chord there, right? But here's the deal. A lot of times you don't have to play B flat if you know how to capo the guitar. This is how I teach you in the beginning. I try to keep you out of bar chord land because it's just not fun for beginners, right? If a child is learning to walk, you're not gonna set up hurdles out in the street and be like, all right, look, man, when you grow up, you're gonna be jumping over hurdles. You might as well start now. No, dude. They need to walk. They need to just get to walk. And so in the beginning, what I try to do with beginners is keep them out of bar chord land. Just have them be using the open chords, the easier chords, use a capo and that sort of thing later on as they get stronger and they develop that sense of I can do anything because they know they can, but I got to start them off easy first because at first they don't believe it. So I got to trick them to where they finally do believe it and they know that they can do anything on the guitar. And then bar chords are like, oh yeah, bar chords, what's that? I can do that. It's nothing. Baby steps, as Peter says, and that is true. Baby steps. Do you often play full bar chords on the electric? I do, yes. I typically play full bar chords on the electric. John Bateman, thanks so much for the donation, friend. I missed that one somehow earlier. Thank you, John. Super kind. And did I just see another donation come through? No. Okay. Jamie is saying, I'm writing a song and I have a melody, but with the chords behind it, sounds terrible. How do I know which notes of the melody to use and the strumming pattern for behind the melody? Jamie, it's a great question. When we are growing up, we're exposed to advertisements we're exposed to music of all kinds. We're walking down the street and the neighbor has the window open and a car drives by and the TV has a commercial and mom's playing something and your older brother's playing something and someone's playing an instrument nonstop. You're getting this constant diatonic harmony into your ears. Diatonic harmony is the harmony that's based off of the major scale, which is 99.999% of all the music that you've ever heard and loved. Country, blues, jazz, rock and roll, from the beginning of time to the end of time, amen. Classical, everything is based off of the major scale. And so this is in our heads. So a lot of times you can just play a few chords and not know anything about music theory, and you can be like, yeah, you're messing around with these chords. Whatever, you're just like making stuff up as you're going along, right? Coincidentally, by the way, there's 713 people in here. That's amazing. So, you know, you're just making melodies up as you're going along. You might say to yourself, well, I wonder if that's right. Well, listen, if it sounds right, it's right. If it doesn't sound right, it's wrong. So literally, that's it, okay? If it sounds right, it's right. If it doesn't sound right, it's wrong. It's just like if you eat something. If you go into the refrigerator and you eat something, you're like, dude, this tastes bad. You don't need to get a chemist set out to find out that it's bad. You just tasted it and it doesn't taste good, right? So you know. So use your common sense. So that's one way to do it. Mariah Carey, when she writes a song, I don't think she plays an instrument. She just sings, but she has the construct, a basic construct of how things should be. If you've never built a house before, I've never built a house before, but if you never have, you would probably start with the foundation. You're not going to start with the roof because you need the foundation to sit on something. So you already have a basic idea of physics of that. We got to build the foundation first. We can't build the roof first. It's going to fall on the ground. Eric, that's a terrible analogy. It's not at all. It's a perfect analogy because you have something built into your subconscious growing up, knowing that you got to build something from the ground up, right? So it's actually quite on. So we can do this. We can just start playing through chords, come up with a melody. That's one way to do it. The other way you can do it, Jamie, and actually it's helpful to actually know a bit about music theory as well, is understand a lot about the major scale. Several lessons inside of UGS Standard, what I give you for free today, help you understand the construct of the major scale, how to develop it in all the different keys all over the neck, where our chords come from that, which we're going to talk about today, the second hour, in 7 minutes. And then once you know that, then you know what to do, right? So the other thing you can do is if you're playing chords within the key of G major, which we'll talk about in a minute, okay? We're not going to get to it quite yet, but the chords are like, you know, G major, A minor, B minor, C major, D major, E minor, F sharp, diminished, and G. Those are the natural occurring diatonic chords. And if we play some of those chords, and then we play some of the melody notes out of that same key, G major, then we're playing the right thing, okay? So Jamie, what I suggest you do is get familiar with the major scale as I teach it in UGS Standard, second link below. It's for free for you. Get real familiar with that. Then start going down that rabbit hole with me, and it'll start making sense to you. But what I'm telling you is you can do this organically, but some people have, you know, they've been exposed to more music than others. I had a student one time, he had such a hard time keeping a beat. Any other teacher would have given up on him saying, well, you don't understand beats. No, that's a lazy ass teacher is what that is, and figure out how to get to your student. That's what I did. And I said, okay, this guy obviously didn't grow up with music like I did, tapping my foot, dancing around the house, and what have you. There's something that becomes natural. My kid's watching Storybots on Netflix, which, by the way, is an amazing series for kids. Wholesome and funny and great music and everything else. And they're teaching a beat, teaching you how to keep a beat. You know what I mean? Then, and my son's walking around the house doing this with him, that he's learning at 4 years old what a beat is. And if my buddy didn't do that, then he's 30 and he's trying to learn a beat, of course he's going to be stunted because he didn't learn that at an earlier age. So some people can do this more readily than others because of the lifestyle that they grew up listening to music and stuff like that. Either way, it's all learned. And so we're all on a continuum, and it doesn't matter where you're at on the continuum, we all have to take the same steps. No one gets a free ride. No one jumps, skips steps. You have to start at 0 and you go up to whatever you want. It's an infinite value of wherever it is that you want to be, guitar or meditation or working out or whatever it is that you want to be. You have an infinite future in front of you. If you believe it. If you don't believe that, then you won't have that. You'll have, But nonetheless, we all start at 0 and then we just build up. So Jamie, wherever you're at is where you're at. That's great. And then just build up from there. But start with UGS Standard because that's going to build that foundation. It's going to make a lot more sense to you if you understand that, okay? Okay, thank you, Peter. The Albert King box versus the BB King box. Okay, I've got 4 minutes to talk about this, so I'll do it. Okay, so if we have, let's see. Okay, let's do this. If I go, let's do something like. Let's do this. Let's go. BB, I understand that the Albert King box is this second form of the pentatonic or blues scale, which I teach you guys, right? This is 1. 2 would be, so Albert King would do stuff like the, he's in this area. I'm pretty sure about that one, not 100% sure. So you may have to do a double check on this one. But for sure what I know is the BB King box, which go up 2 frets if we're in the key of A, and go up 2 more frets, play the same notes, or the same frets. Albert King. That's my understanding between the 2 boxes. I do have a whole video on the BB King box that's on YouTube. Just search YourGuitarSage BB box, okay? John Dino, good eye. It's a 65 Strat. I do the same thing, John, is what you did there. I'll go, man, that looks like a 67 Telly. And I'm not real good at it, but usually I'm pretty close. Joseph Neary, $10 donation. Thank you so much, friend. Beautiful. So kind. Wow. Oh, good. LA said you hit the nail on the head. You explained my confusion. Beautiful. Yay. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Albert King and BB King are legends, indeed. Beautiful. All right, friends, we might as well, let's get straight into it. Let's get into the intermediate and advanced lesson because I'm really excited about this. I've got a special treat for you, okay? For friends that are just joining us, welcome to day 23 of the 30-day guitar challenge. This is the intermediate to advanced section. So now, but here's the deal. If you're a beginner, this stuff will make sense to you most likely, okay? So even though we say intermediate advanced, what does that even mean anyhow? They're labels, and to one person, intermediate advanced means something different than to somebody else. So they're just basic labels, real light, broad strokes, okay? But you can get this stuff, I promise, all right? So that's what we're going into right now. And what I'm going to be talking to you about is chord progressions that would work well, or chords that work well together, but specifically chord progressions that work really well, that are very famous, that thousands and thousands of great songs have been written from, okay? And there's a structure. There's a definitive structure I'm going to show you, okay? Now, if you're new here and you haven't done it already, please hit thumbs up. If you have already, then don't do it again because it'll make your thumb go away. Not this thumb, but the one on down here, right? It'll make it go away on the computer. So don't do that. But if you would, if you've liked it already, then go ahead and share it because right next to it there's a share button. Maybe you share it with a friend who you know plays guitar, or share it out to Twitter land. That's a great place to do it. Share it out to Twitter. I think there's other places you can share it to. On mine it says email, Twitter. I think you can share it to Facebook. There's a lot of different places. Facebook's a great place to do it too. So share it out to the interwebs. I really appreciate that. And of course, if you like what I'm doing here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, okay? Beautiful. If you want me to get your questions answered after the lesson here, I'm gonna do it, and the way you do that is just the bottom left hand or bottom part of the screen, and you can say where it says say something. That's where you do it. And if you want to know how to donate, where folks are donating, there's a smiley face, and then next to that says show your support for your guitar sage, and it's got a little US dollar symbol, and you can click that and donate. And we've had some amazing donations today. Charles Bryan, $200, and Aaron, $100. I mean, those are. We've never had a $200 donation. That is amazing, amazing. So absolutely generous, beautiful, so kind. Okay, let's get into it. So we talked about the modes here, and if you want to take a picture of that screen, you can. There you go. Take a picture of that screen because these are our modes, and we talked about that yesterday. Now, very similarly, you see how this is green, red, red, green, green, red, or a blue. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And these modes, they're the same color as the chords, which we're going to talk about. That's not a coincidence. It's all coming together. If you wonder why you're seeing some strange patterns in the universe right now, some strange patterns in personalities, if you pull away from mainstream media and you stop watching that, dear God, please stop watching that. I want to be friends. I want us to be friends together. And the only way we can do this is if we're on a similar consciousness. And the mainstream media is, if you get away from that and you start looking like on YouTube and some other places, you will see some patterns, right? And stuff starts making sense. Stuff starts going, you start going, what is this? What are these patterns I'm seeing? Why is everybody saying that the world is changing and we are moving into the enlightenment stage? Why are so many people saying that? They've never said that before. Why? Why would they be saying that now? I wonder if it could be because we're turning into enlightened beings and we're becoming enlightened. I wonder if that's why. Nah, probably just a silly coincidence that people just keep talking about. No, we're moving into a new age, friends. And so if you keep your eye on things, you will see patterns. And you see them in music all day long. Watch this. I'm going to show you something pretty cool. The major scale, if we take the 1, the 3, the 5 from the major scale, it turns into a major chord. Watch this. I'm going to blow your mind here. We said 1. We've got 7 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, right? I swear every time I go off of the subject of guitar, I know my crew is like this. They're going like this. They're going, don't do it, Eric. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't go down the rabbit hole, please. He's going to get weird. Although they're a little bit weird like me too, but I know sometimes they're like, this guy is off the chain and he's going to start getting weird. And I do sometimes, but that's all right. Got to get weird. Don't want to be normal. Normal's bad. Normal's weird. Okay, so here are our chords, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Major. The green guys are major. So we have major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished. Okay? Wait a minute, Eric. Are you saying that this is this way all the time? It's this way 99% of the time. 99% of the music that you listen to follows this pattern. What? Yes. And the 2 tonal centers are major and minor. But it follows the same way. So if this is the tonal center in a minor key, then your chords are minor, diminished, major, minor, minor, major, major. Now, before I moved to Nashville, I would call this the 1. because it would be the tonal center, but I don't think that way anymore because it makes it easier if you just think about everything in a major key. And just think about it, this is the tonal center, but it's the 6. The 6 is the tonal center. That means the 7 would be diminished, the 1 would be major, 2 and 3 would be minor, 4 and 5 would be major, okay? Rick's like, get weird. I'm gonna get weird, Rick, thank you. So, watch this. If we were to take the major scale, get ready to have your mind blown, all right? Seriously, get the mop, do whatever you need to do, get some towels, some towelettes, because it's gonna get messy. If you take the 1, the 3, and the 5, and you stack them up, that's harmony, by the way. If you stack them up, the 1, the 3, and the 5, it will give you a major chord. Because remember, the distances are different between each of these. It's like whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step, back to the 8, okay? And because of that, we have variations in these patterns. It's not the same every time. If it were whole step, 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 it'd be the same every time. But we have whole steps and half steps in different places. So sometimes it's 4 notes away, sometimes it's 3 notes away, or 4 frets and 3 frets. So now we get some pattern changes. And because of that, if we take the 1, stack the 3 and the 5 on top of it, we get a major chord. If we take the 2 note, this is any major key, by the way, any. If you take the 2 and you stack a 4 and a 6 on top of it, you get a minor chord. If you take the 3 and you stack a 5 and a 7 on top of it, now you get a minor chord. So on and so forth. Take a 4, stack a 6 and an 8 on top of it, or a 1, because we're back to the top of the scale then, you get a major chord. And if you do the same thing with the 5, you get a major chord. Same thing with the 6, boom, boom, you get a minor, and the 7, you get a diminished chord, okay? I'm just running over that really quickly so that you understand this, but again, if you don't understand the major scale, then this stuff's going to lose you. You got to understand the major scale. That's why I emphasize it so heavily inside of UGS Standard. It's so important that you know this. Dudes, we're up to 724 people. I definitely believe that 800 is a real deal, and we could reach that. So share this, friends, if you would. Share it. Oh, did we get another donation? What? Let me check. It might be one that I mentioned already, but Joseph, I think I mentioned you before, but if I didn't, Joseph, thank you so much for the kind donation. Unbelievable. My mind is blown. Eric, I need a mop. Beautiful. Woo, good. Okay, so just think about, I won't write it down, but just know that the 1, the 4, and the 5 are major, the 2, 3, 6 are minor, and the 7 is diminished. Eric, you can't say that this happens every time. I'm telling you, 744 people, literally because you guys just thought the number 800. This is how this works, man. It really does happen. People go, yeah, that's bullcrap. That's bullcrap. No, it's not. Because if somebody who you love tells you that you're crap, whether it's your mom or dad growing up, or it's your loved one or somebody like that, you really believe it, not just in your head. If I say it, or maybe not me, but some guy down the road, he's driving past you and he flips you off and he goes, hey, you a-hole. You're not going to be like, well, God, I wonder if I'm an a-hole. You're like, I don't know this jackball. I apparently cut him off or something. I'm not but you're not going to believe that. But if your mom or dad says it to you, your head and your heart feel it, and now you really do believe it, right? So, how do I get off on these tangents so quickly? But it's true, okay? I don't know how I get off on these tangents, but major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished, okay? Cool. This happens 99% of the time. So just believe me in that. It is very, very true. You want an example? Oh, you don't believe me? You don't believe me? Oh, okay. Sure. Let's go through some examples. Like let's look at a song. Let's look at Kids by MGMT. You guys talked about that one, right? We've got E minor, C. Hold on. Did someone say they woke up at 7:35 after I told them? I told you it works, doesn't it? You woke up at 7:35. I told you would wake up at 7:35. I know, it's wacky. Okay, so Kids. Oh, 2 donations just came in. Dear Lord, you guys are lit today. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Marco. Feel free to go full Alice in Wonderland down that rabbit hole. Yeah, Marco, I've got the right folks with me. Finally, I've weeded them out. I've weirded the normal people out. Danielle, beautiful. Wish I could contribute more because of what you're doing for us is just fantastic. Great karma. Thank you. Oh, Daniela, thank you, and thank you for the kind thoughts and for the donations. It means a lot. Okay, beautiful. So kind. So right, let's look at kids. Right. This is E minor. We're basing this off the E minor chord. Bum, 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 C, G, D. So we have E minor, C, G, D chord. All right, now I'm altering some of the notes and what have you, but if we did this in the key of G, which it is in the key of G, it's actually in the key of E minor, so this is the tonal center. But we have an E minor, which is our 6, okay? And then we go to a C chord, which in the key of G. We're basing this off of G. Michael, thanks so much. Thanks from all the vets, learning so much from you. Thank you so much for the donation, Michael. I appreciate that. So kind. So we're basing this off the tonal center of a 6, okay? And then it goes to a C chord. Well, in the key of G, watch this. In the key of G, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. So our C should be major. Is it? Let's check. Oh, it's major. What? Okay. In the key of G, the G is the 1. So it should be major, right? Because it's green. Is it? It is. What? Okay. And then the D chord is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, in this song, it's major. So is the 5 major? It is. What? So the 6 was minor. The 1, the 4, the 6 was minor, and the 1, 4, 5 were major. Okay? This isn't just a coincidence, friends. This is because this is the natural construction of music, right? Now, with the exception of borrowed chords, which I've done videos for, they're rare, okay? But I love them, okay? I love them, love them, love them, and that's why I teach them as well. But they fall outside of diatonic harmony. And some people say, but you said that this is the natural thing in diatonic harmony. It is natural. When you go out and look at the sun, how many times is it purple? Never. It's always white-ish yellow, right? It's that color. That's why in 99% of paintings, you're going to see the sun represented as yellow or white. But I've seen it represented in different colors before, you know. And if my kid were to paint a sky and paint everything and made the Ramon said, I missed the rabbit hole, the rabbit trail. Oh, we're not done. We're going to go down it again, I'm sure. So if my kid paints the sky and the sun is purple, but it's where the sun should be, I'm not going to be like, well, I wonder what the hell's going on with that. What's that? Is that like a truck in the sky there? I've only seen a purple truck. No, it's where the sun should be, and it's purple. The guy just decided he wanted to paint a purple sun. So in the same way, you can go outside of diatonic harmony, right? You can go outside of diatonic harmony and just shoehorn a major 2 in there, or shoehorn a minor 4. You know, you can do this, but 99% of the time this doesn't occur, and that's what we're focusing on today. Is we're focusing on diatonic harmony, what naturally occurs. If you're interested in those borrowed chord bits, search on YouTube YourGuitarSage borrowed chords, and I'll show you this. Okay, so let's take another one. Let's take someone said Stand By Me. Stand by me, stand by me, when the night, I don't know the lyrics, go down, but the moon is, I could totally fake a gig. I could just throw in a word every now and then, make it sound like I know what I'm talking about. When the night go down, and the moon is, stand by me, stand by me. I don't know the lyrics. But we have a C. Nope, that's not the lyrics, somebody said. And then we got an A minor. And then we have an F. And the land is dark. And we got a G. You guys could just be be like lip syncing it, and I could be reading your lips and I'd get through the song. Randall, thanks for the donation, brothers. Thank you. Great way to spend the 67th birthday. You guys are great. Thanks for all you do. Thank you, Randall. Happy birthday, brother. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Randall. Come on, everybody. At home. I don't hear you. I still don't hear you. Happy birthday to you. I'm assuming we're all singing in the same key. Beautiful. Happy birthday, Randall. Okay, so the key is C, right? We said the key is C. So that's our tonal center. We always said there's got to be a tonal center, like the sun in the center of the solar system, right? And all the planets revolve around it. Well, in 99.9% of all music, we have a tonal center. Whether you recognize it or not, we do. The 3-year-old who listens to the symphony and the 97-year-old conductor who listens to the symphony, who's been a conductor for 50 years, they hear the same notes and chords and what have you, but the 3-year-old doesn't have the labels to put on it, so he doesn't know, right? Does that make sense? PF Lynn, thanks so much for the donation, super kind. Tom Wakefield, thank you so much for the donation. Wow, 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 you guys are lit. And P Flamenco, thank you for the donation. You guys are amazing. This keeps the lights on at the studio that we're not using. We haven't been using for a month and a half. Beautiful, thank you. And it keeps me paying my crews. So thank you, thank you, thank you. It really means a lot to me, friends, really. All right, so there's a tonal center. In this case, the C is the tonal center. How do you know that? You got to know the basic stuff that I've been showing you, but just trust me, the C is the tonal center. So let's investigate this. So we have a C, we have an A minor, we have an F, and we have a G. So C, here's C. If we go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's our A, and it should be minor. Let's go up to the F. 1, 2, 3, 4. The F should be major, and the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is our G, and that should be major as well. So look, we're in the key of C, and the 1 is major. We went to a 6, and that happened to be minor, and that was true. And then we had the 4, which was major, and that was an F, and we had the 5 that was major, and that was the G. But Eric, wow, what a coincidence. This what you're telling me, which I didn't believe before, almost seems to be true. Yeah, it is true. It is true. So that's why I'm telling this to you, okay? So now, I've got a real treat for you. I'm going to show it to you now. Ready? Honorian. Oh, no. Oh, no. Why can't I say your name, my friend? I said it yesterday. Honorian. Oh, no. Right now, kid. Kid 1. It's my daughter. She can't call me right now. I'm live here. I thought I muted this thing. Okay? All right. So, here's the deal. Let's go over this, all right? Let's talk about this. I'm going to show you a treat here, okay? And it goes like this. Wow, my gosh, with the donations, you guys are lit today. You are really, this is amazing. Christine, thank you, thank you, thank you. Coming through with $5. Jeez, Eddie Spaghetti, what? 75 is still learning every day, not just guitar. Eddie Spaghetti, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So kind. You guys are crushing this today, and you're making me so happy. So thank you, thank you. All right, so here's the treat. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a real basic chord progression. I'm going to show you, I'm going to bring together all of these things that we've been learning. Diatonic harmony, the chords appearing like major, minor, minor, major, major, minor diminished, the bar chords, the cage system. I'm going to show you how we do this. Him Siegel, again, coming through. Dear Lord, you guys are lit. $5 donation. What is going on? Is it the hat? Oh, you guys hate my hair. You want me to cover up my hair from now on? I'll do it, okay? You're conditioning me like a dog. I'll just not have the hair anymore. If it offends you, I won't do that. From now on, it's the Carter hat, okay? Jeff, dear Lord, thank you with the donations, guys. Amazing. You guys are so lit. Woo! Unbelievable. Okay, so I'm going to take a basic chord progression, okay? I'm going to take a basic chord progression, and I said earlier that shave my head. Shave my head. I should do that one day for a challenge, okay? I said that there's a famous chord progression that so many people have used, okay? I'm gonna do this in the key of D, okay? So D is my tonal center, but it wouldn't matter what my tonal center is. All the chords match every single time, but just in a different key. So in the case here of a D major, I can play the D major scale. Okay? And so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. So my 1 should be D. My 5, wow, dear Lord, Lance, thank you for the donation. Friend, what is going on in the universe today? This is crazy. Well, we have nearly 700 people in here, and you guys are donating like mad dogs right now. Thank you. Lance Parson, 30-day guitar challenge. Day 31, let's spend 2 hours going down that rabbit hole. You want to do that? I would love to do that. I've threatened my crew in that I want to have another channel where the only thing I do is we discuss these ideas. So I'm gonna have to find a way, because I know there's some people that don't want to talk about that, and I get it, because we're here to learn guitar, and I get that. But at the same time, there's such interesting things in the soul and the mind and the spirit and changing the world and everything is so I'm so passionate about that. So it just comes out in my regular teaching sometimes. So I would love to do that with you guys. Maybe we'll do it on another channel or something like that. Maybe I'll start another channel then. And John, beautiful. Thank you so much, John, for the donation. You guys are really, this is nutso the clown. This is crazy. I don't know if we've ever had donations. Wesley, thank you. My goodness gracious, Eric's never going to make it through the lesson. I will. Here I go. I'm getting into it right now. But beautiful, Wesley, thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys are amazing. It's really super, super sweet. Okay, so we said that the 1 would be D, the 4 would be G, right? Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is a G, and 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is an A, and the 6 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is a B minor. Okay, so here we go. So we could take this basic chord progression. That's the chord progression we're going to use. I'm going to loop this, okay? And I'm just going to do a basic, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to go. Glycerin. Someone said glycerin. Yeah, glycerin, right? And I don't even know. I forgot how the lyrics went to that, right? Glycerin. Yes, it's glycerin. It's With or Without You by U2. It's a million songs, right? But Glycerin is one of them. It's also a song that I wrote that goes this is in a different key, but in the key of D it would be. It's all the same. This is the thing. It's so funny when I get hit for a copyright infringement on a chord progression that artist stole from this artist, stole from that artist, stole from that artist, and 1,000 times over, and they're like, oh, but you can't play that. Come on, jeez. Okay, but I digress. So here's our chord progression. It's a D, it's an A, it's a B minor, and it's a G. Gene, thank you so much for the donation. Wow. ATV74, you make me want to get better. Thanks from this old vet. Ah, thank you, Gene. Beautiful, so kind. D, A, B minor, and G, okay? Now watch, here we go. I'm just gonna record this here. Real simple. Let's make sure this is right. Make sure I did this right. Listening. Let me do it one more time. I messed up there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Listening. Okay, so that's a D, E, A, B minor, G, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we got a good basic chord progression there. Now, so our chords are gonna go like this. We got 1, 1, 5, 1, 5, minor 6, 4. So it's gonna go 1, 5, minor 6, 4. Is that right? Yeah. 1, 5, minor 6, 4. Okay. Very famous chord progression used so much. Now, I just played this down here low, nice and low. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do some different things to even make it more fun. So maybe what I'm gonna do, just for kicks and giggles, I want something lower, okay? So I'm gonna tune my guitar, I'm gonna tune it I'm gonna tune the E string down to a D. So I'm gonna go, let's see. Let's see. I'm gonna do this here. I'm gonna go. Sorry. Here we go. So it's number one, we just got another donation in. The wife loves your Poindexter do under the hat. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Doug. So kind. I'm going to do a little something different here. Maybe I'm going to go, because I want that original track to go away. But I'm going to show you how we're stacking all of this information. So I'm going to do something like this. We're adding, right? Oh, is it too loud? Okay, hold on. It's too loud. Okay, sorry about that. Thank you. Better? Tell me, let me know if that's better. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is probably better, right? Yep, better? Okay, cool. Sorry, it was just too loud, that's it. Okay, good. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna tune my guitar back up. I just tuned that one string down, by the way. Okay, good, better. Excellent, thank you. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna find look, when we go see the orchestra, we got double basses, violas, violins, piccolos, we got percussion, which is even lower. So we have all of these different, we have sounds all over the spectrum, okay, vibrationally. Jesse, thank you so much. Thanks from the vets. You and your team have made the last 23 days feel like we still have life. Aw, Jesse, man, thank you. More than playing guitar, and you know me, man, I love playing guitar. What the hell use is guitar if we're not happy inside, right? This is a tool for us to become happy. That's all it is, but it's a beautiful tool, and I love it. Not knocking it. I think it's beautiful, but it really is all about happiness and fulfillment, something I discovered a few years ago, because that's not a selfish thing to want to be happy and fulfilled. Because if you're happy and fulfilled, you can make the world happy and fulfilled. If you're pissy and angry, how can you make the world happy? Because you've got nothing. You need a cup that's overflowing to make the world a better place, because if you are in lack, then you're just going to try to absorb it. You're going to be desperate and absorbing anything you can, right? Jesse, thank you so much. That really means a lot to me. So kind. Thank you, thank you. Really mean a lot. That means a lot. And thank you for the donation. Okay, so the only thing I'm doing now is I'm thinking orchestra-wise. I'm thinking, okay, well, let's think about things in different places, different sounds, different timbres, right? With my little boy, he was in here. We talked about the different intensity, right? Intensity and timbre, which is different sounds. So maybe we would use different pickups, or we would use the tone knob to create different sounds. Sarah, thank you so much for the donation. Super, super kind. It's really, really sweet. So timbre, the different tone, right? So a guitar is going to sound different than a bass, is sound different than a violin or a cello. Intensity is the volume of something. We have harmony. We're using harmony here. We've got melody. We could be saying that the same. Byron, thank you so much for the donation. Dear Lord, you guys are so on fire today. What is going on? Something in the universe there's been a tilt. Beautiful. Thank you, Byron. That's really super kind. I so appreciate it. Thank you. Better, some static. Okay, well, but you can hear it fine. It's not too loud, too quiet. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna create some different sounds, and I'm looking for, you know, changing the timbre, and I'm also thinking about changing the voicings. Okay, Daniel, thank you. Wow, thanks for making my isolation a learning time. Beautiful, thank you, buddy. All right, so now how might I do that? Well, we have these open chords, D, A minor, B minor, and G. How might we do this? Well, let's think about the cage system. Let's find another place. So this is one area of the neck. Remember, as we go up the neck, we're going up in pitch. So it would make sense that if we're grabbing chords in here, they're gonna be lower, here they're gonna be in the middle, here they're gonna be higher, and here they're gonna be really high. So let's do that. So I'm gonna take a D here, and here's an A, here's a B minor, and then we got our, what's that? A G. Wow, Ono is fine. Ono, thank you again, dear Lord, my friend. You've been donating so much. Wow, so kind. Ono. I'm just going by Ono from now on. Thank you, Ono. Okay, so we have our D, right? Because I'm getting it from this bar chord. Remember, we learned that. And then this is an A. And you're like, Eric, where are you getting that A from? Remember when I said when you learn the caged system, people are like, yeah, but I don't want to play, what a weird chord that is. And then the C version, like who plays that? Not a lot of people do, you know. Lee, thank you for that. You reap what you sow. That's really super kind. Wow. Clark, thank you for the donation. Speaking of words of wisdom, jeez, you guys are amazing. So we said with the cage system, right, the C form, the A form, the G form, the E form, and the D form. Remember I said on a lot of these we wouldn't play. Like for the D chord, I wouldn't play the D like that. I wouldn't put that first finger here. I'd just play that form. For the G form, I might not play that like that, but I might play just the top part of the chord, or just those two notes. But I wouldn't be able to find those 2-3 notes if I didn't know how to form the whole chord. And then you know, for some of the other chords, like the E form, I might not play the whole form. I may just play these 3 notes, which is where I came up with these 3 notes for the A chord. So I'm playing the 3. I'm playing strings 2, 3, and 4. Makes sense? So now watch this. So we got the D form. And I'm just gonna steal these 3 strings here. I'm not gonna play this bass note. There's no need to. My bass player just now, who was me, is playing those. So I'm gonna take this D form, just playing strings 2, 3, and 4, and then I'm gonna play these 3 strings from the A chord. And I had a B minor chord. Now, there's a few different ways we could play this. Here's the B minor. I'm sorry, here. Joan, thanks for the donation. Thanks for making this month so much better for so many people. Golly, you guys are showing me so much love right now. It's bonkers. It's so kind. Thank you. So here's our B minor, right? Because I got it from this form, which is from our E minor. Phil, thank you for the donation. My goodness gracious, guys, you are just overwhelming me with love. This is nuts. Nuts. There's a B minor. Okay, so we have our D, we got our A, we got our B minor, and then we set a G chord. Now, the G chord that I'm going to grab is this one right here. That's from our Cage system. That's the C form, because it looks like a C chord, but I moved that up to the G bass note. So I just kind of map it out ahead of time. Here's my D, here's my A, here's my B minor, here's my G. So I just have to change one note there. So I rehearse it and I go. And now maybe I want a different sound. So I'm gonna do something real bright, like a. I'm just switching my pickup selector here. How do you know when to do that, Eric? Think like an artist would. What do you want? Like, just paint something. Do you like it? If you don't, take it off, you know? That's the way you want to think. So there's no theory with this. It's just like, this is what I want. Let's do a different sound here. Let's see what it sounds like, okay? So I might go like this. Static again, really? Is that better? Really, still a problem, right? Ah, boo! Okay, well, let's just get through this one part here. I don't want to hurt your guys' ears with it, okay? But let me just add this one little thing here, okay? Here we go. Now we have yet another bit there. Okay, no more of the looper then. I don't know what's going on. I wonder why. We're not connected directly. It's sitting here right in the room and it's not loud at all. Huh. Weird. Okay, well, we won't do that anymore. I don't want to bother you guys with that, okay? I can see it. I know there's a problem, okay? But does that make sense? So really what we're doing here is we're just playing different places on the neck. Now, let's talk about those chords that are going to work well together. It's all good now. It's in your cap. Okay. He talks and it's still staticky. Okay, well that's probably a YouTube problem then, okay? All right, so I'm going to act as if some of you can hear this and some of you cannot, okay? I'm going to assume that you can hear. I'm just going to keep moving forward, okay? Your voice is staticky too. Oh no. Well then, that must be what it is. It's a YouTube thing. Because I haven't changed anything. Anyhow, let's keep going. For those of you that can hear me correctly, I'm so sorry. Walt, thank you for the kind donation, buddy. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, thank you. Love it. Make sure that your quality is high, friends. Make sure that you're checking your quality, okay? It's not the microphone. I'm using the iPhone here, and there's nothing different about it. And some of you are hearing it very, very clear. Others of you are not. So it's got to be either a YouTube thing or your connection to the internet. Okay, I apologize. That's out of my hands. I can only I can only send the signal out correctly, okay? All right, let's talk about the most popular chords. Okay, you ready? It goes in this order. This is going to be the first chord that you're going to use. It has to be, because it has to be the tonal center. Like we talked about yesterday, if you have a subject or the title of a movie and the title of the movie has nothing to do with the movie, well then that would be weird, wouldn't it? So you gotta have the tonal center has to be used a lot, the 1. And maybe it's a 6, maybe the tonal center is the 6, who knows? If it's in a minor key, then it would be, okay? The next chord that's going to be used the most is the 2. I mean, is the 4 and the 5. They're used pretty much the same amount, okay? So that's the chord that's used secondly, the most. There's a million great songs written from just the 1, 4, 5. A million great country songs. At least thousands of it, okay? There's a ton of great songs that are just the 1 and the 4. A ton of great songs that are just the 1 and the 5. And a bazillion songs that are just the 1, 4, and the 5. Well, if we introduce the 6 chord, which is the next chord that appears most often, you will find thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of other songs that are filled with that. Yes, somebody said blues, 1, 4, 5. Yeah, Jim, who said that? Lots of blues too. Dale, yes, you're 100% right. Lots of blues just uses the 1, 4, and 5. So there you go. So those are the chords you're going to see the most. And then the 3. Literally, the 1, 4, 5, minor 6, if you just use those chords in any order, in any key, it's going to sound good. Let's do an experiment. Whether you're finger picking, whether you're strumming, doesn't matter. What does that mean? It means you could literally write a song today just with this information. Look, here's the key of C. It doesn't matter what key I'm in. Just like if I sing, happy birthday to you, or happy birthday to you. It's the same song, just in a different key, right? Doesn't matter. So, if I take the C chord, here's a 1, minor 6, 4, 1, minor 6, 4, 5. Now, what happens if I say 1, 4, minor 6, 1, 4, minor 6, 5? Let's try that. 1, 4, minor 6, 5. That sounds good too. 1, 4, minor 6, 5. Well, let's try 1. Let's see. Let's see, we did that. Let's go 1, 5, minor 6, 4. That sounds great too. Okay, have we tried them all? We went to all of them at one point. Let's try 1, 4, 5, minor 6. Jimmy's saying mind blown, right? So the 1, 4, 5, minor 6 is the one I like the least, but it still sounds great. How about 1, minor 6, 4, 5? We did that one. Makes sense? Eric's saying, somebody's saying, Eric, do you know when this whole theory was invented? Peter, it wasn't invented as much as it was discovered, right? So just like a commerce, right? When you buy something, when you give money so that someone gives you something back, no one invented that as much as a caveman said, hey, you got a club and I've got not the cavemen were around when dinosaurs were around, but let's just pretend for a second. Hey, you got a club and I got a dinosaur to ride. You want to trade? And then they traded, right? So, and then hence the bartering system began. Oh, you got that, I want that, but I got this thing, let's trade it. right? So this stuff wasn't, so music theory wasn't invented. It's more like it just happened. There are certain notes that resonate with other notes more. And so these are patterns, these are vibrations. And just for the same reason that in every religion and in every nation and in every, it doesn't matter who you are, no one wants to be punched in the face or shot in the head or have a nail driven through your hand. Like, these are basic things we don't want. We don't want to be harmed. We want kindness and love. This is why I preach this all the time, because it's something we all can agree on. Doesn't mean that everybody's going to do it, but it's something we all can agree on. No animal wants to be hurt. No person wants to be hurt. Nobody wants their child taken away. No baby wants their child taken away, etc., etc. It's just basic kindness. Anybody can get this. Animals really get this. They understand it from a basic perspective, right? So, wow, Lord, thank you so much, Lori girl. Chuck Pop's wife, Lori here. Oh, the donation specifically for your new philosophy channel startup. Oh, thank you, Lori girl. Namaste. And thank you so much for getting Chuck his shirt that he sent me, right? Didn't you buy him a shirt for a surprise? That was really sweet. Thank you, Lori. I would like to do this, yeah. So you're saying, is that called a cadence? So a cadence is usually something, you know, yeah, it can be called a cadence. Yeah, sure. Cadence is usually, you know, at the end of a song, like, that's usually what we call a cadence, you know, something that brings it to finality. But yeah, it could be called a cadence too. Okay, okay, good. All right, so where were we going with that? So you can see that any one of these chords do work well together. The one, hey, there's my daughter. Hey, honey, on on FaceTime there. Hey, honey, sorry I couldn't pick up.
She just said she tried to FaceTime.
I'm in a live bit here. So the 1 minor 6 4 5, those are the chords that work the best. Now you could use a minor 2 and you could use a minor 3. People use them all the time. And if you really want to start getting fancy, check out the video that I did on borrowed chords. In fact, Mike or Jason or Emmy, if you could drop that into the hey, Emmy said hi, Carly. Emmy, who's on our team, who's on our YGS team, she said hi, Emmy. Emmy, who's on our team, our YGS team, is went to school with Carly, my daughter, when they were little ones. And now she works with us, and she's amazing. So how fun is that? So this minor 2 and this minor 3 can be used as well, and it's used all the time. But if you want to know more about borrowed chords, I'll have one of the gang drop it into the chat here, and you can learn more about that, because basically what that is doing is you're borrowing from another key. And a real quick example here, it's like this. If we're talking, I use this example all the time. I'm sorry if you've heard it before, but here it goes. If we're talking about guitars, we're having a conversation, and you're like, oh yeah, Stratocasters, and you're like, oh yeah, Les Pauls, and we're talking guitars and chords and stuff. And then I start talking about Mako sharks and great white sharks and sand sharks and lemon sharks. You're gonna be like, we were talking about guitars, bro. Why are you talking about sharks? That's weird. Because I'm changing the conversation. In a key change, basically, we're saying no longer are we using the same notes and chords anymore. We're using a new set of notes and chords, and sometimes that can be effective, right? So if, like, we're talking about guitars, and I'm like, dude, did you hear they found a live megalodon shark? And you're like, wait, hold the presses. Let's stop talking about Stratocasters here for a minute. What do you mean? They found this like 80-foot shark. It's alive. Then we might decide to change the conversation. But for the most part, we don't change keys when we're in a song, and we don't typically detour like that in the middle of a conversation. If we do, then it's very similar to changing the conversation. Okay, got that? Boom, stick that over here. Now, a borrowed chord is when we, for a moment in time, for a moment, a measure or two, we will change keys. It's called a transmutation or a modal interchange, or a borrowed chord, because we're borrowing it from another key. When we do that, we're changing the natural pattern of the way music goes, the way you've heard it 99% of your life, okay? And when you do that, your ear goes, wait a minute, what is that? Because it's not used to the change of the pattern. But if you do it the right way, it sounds really great. And then once you get used to it, you your ears bent to it. So we were having a similar conversation. Thanks for reminding me and keeping me on track, Peter. If I had a guitar and it had a giant fin over here, right, like the ZZ Top guitar that actually looks like the fin of a 1957 Chevy, and I said, well, you know, it's got that fin and it looks like a shark fin, you know what I'm talking about? And you're like, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. And I just mentioned it for 1 second to further make what it is we're talking about come to life by using another comparison. Oh, you know, it's sky blue. We're not talking about the sky, but sky blue. Now I get it. Okay, you talk about sky blue. Or it has that fin that looks like a shark fin on the guitar. You're like, oh yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, Flying V. Somebody's saying, right. Then for a moment, we're pulling another subject into what it is we're talking about to further make it cool or to accentuate the idea. And then, so when we're borrowing a chord, that's what we're doing. But we need to get back to the subject again, because if I just switched to talking about sharks right away, it would get weird. So we're still talking about guitars. That's essentially what a borrowed chord is. We're borrowing it from another key, and we need to, it needs to sound good, we need to experiment with it, or we kind of need to know what we're doing. An example would be, this chord progression, the 1, minor 6, 4, 5. There's a very famous chord progression from the 50s that goes like this. And so what I did there is I played the same chord progression, the 1, minor 6, 4, 5, but in this case I played it a 1, minor 6, minor 4, 5. Listen to the way you're used to hearing it. 1, minor 6, 4, 5. I'll tune my guitar for you though. So here we go. 1, minor 6, 4, 5. That's what we get, right? But if we make the 4 minor, it sounds like this. Make sense? Okay, that's what a borrowed chord is. So I think you guys get the basic idea that, my gosh, friends, with the donations, you guys have been just slaying me today with that. I am still beside myself with that. Is that a Richie Valens song? Someone's asking. Richie Valens might have done that, but it is Johnny and Santo. It's called Sleepwalking, or Sleepwalking, I think it's called, if I recall that one correctly. My buddy RJ Ronquillo has a great rendition of that on YouTube. Check out RJ if you haven't seen him already. He's a great player, amazing player. Okay, Brain Splat, LA said. Yeah, good. Beautiful. Okay, how does the chord progression work with the modes? Are they still the same chords? Esteban, so a lot of people think that you can just compose in modes. It's not done very much. You can look on YouTube and do a bunch of research, go down that rabbit hole, and you're going to find that there's not a lot of songs or hardly any. The only song that I can think of that kind of is mode-esque is that you would know and that's famous is Eleanor Rigby. And it's arguably in the Dorian mode where it has the raised 6, okay? That being said, it's only one note away from the minor scale, and we get used to it. So in this case here, with that changed chord, we could say that that's a modal change as well, right? Because it changes that 1 for that one moment. It does change that, but it's just for that one chord, right? But to actually have the whole song in a mode is so infrequent, and it just is not very stable. We want to really lean towards major or minor. There's 7 notes, technically 7 different key centers, but really major and minor are the 2 key centers. Merle, thank you so much. Very informative lesson. Thank you so much. And Merle, thank you so much again. Always coming through for me, buddy, with the donation. Beautiful. Thank you, man. Wow. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. You guys are on fire today. Does that make sense? Someone's asking, is Corey on today? If it's Thursday, he is. Is it Thursday? I think he is on today. Yeah, Thursday. Yeah, Corey will be on right after this. So we will drop a link into Corey right after this as well. Okay. Corey Congilio, I think he's going live today. I'm pretty sure. We'll have Mike. Okay, he is. Thank you so much, Mike. So we'll drop a link in for that at the end of the broadcast because Corey is an amazing instructor, good buddy, and he's going live as well. Okay, Peter, can we go longer? Yeah, I'm gonna keep going here, man. I'm gonna go another, 6-7 minutes here. So let's do it. Corey Congilio, he's an amazing guitar instructor. Someone's asking Bakdor, and he's a guy you guys need to know. He's a fantastic player. Mort is saying, where's a good place to start with meditation for someone with a very busy mind and zero experience? I'm a vet, and I'm thinking maybe it could be helpful. Mort, 3432. Any vets that are listening? PSD, doesn't matter. I don't care. If you have a head, listen up. If you have a head, but don't listen if you don't have a head. If you have a head on your shoulders, listen up. Meditation will transform your life. The science is absolutely out on this. Do it, okay? Do it, do it, do it. Where can you start? Watch, listen to anything by Joe Dispenza. I've been mentioning him a lot lately because I've been really on the train of listening to him, and he explains it from a very scientific point of view. I've been meditating for years now, and it has transformed my life. Absolutely. I don't get depressed anymore. If I get upset, which of course, it's not like I'm a freaking alien or something, but when I get upset or something, I'm able to pull out of it very quickly. Meditation is amazing for PTSD. It's amazing for any sort of trauma. You literally rewire your brain. But Eric, you can't rewire your brain. Really? How do you think PTSD happened? You got your brain rewired. You were thinking good thoughts before, then you saw something tragic and it rewired your brain in a very tragic way. But it also, anything that can break can be fixed. 100%. Take a crystal ball, shatter it in a bazillion pieces. Unless those pieces went away, they're all over the ground. Would it be hard to put it back together? It'd be difficult, right? But that's not what happened to you. That's not what happened to me. It's much more simple than that. But the truth of the matter is all those little pieces could be found, and all those pieces do have their place. Just like a 10,000 piece puzzle would be very hard to put together, but it's not impossible. It's just can be put back together. Our brains are much easier to put back together, and meditation is the way to do it. I'm sorry for the PSA here, but I really, somebody asked the question, I want to help there. Look up anything Joe Dispenza, but here's the one to start with is, friends, watch this. Please, 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 for me, watch this. I got nothing in it for me except I love you and I really do want you to be fully healed, and I want to be fully healed, and we're not. As long as we're in this physical body, we're not fully healed, but we can tap into this. It's a real deal. As real as I'm standing to you here today, I feel stronger about it than I do about guitar or anything else for the matter. It's real. It's for real. Do it. That's why yogis and all these guys have been doing it for tens of thousands of years. And science is just coming now to prove and show the 1,400 chemicals that are released at different times, whether you're fearful or joyful or hopeful or whatever. And this is a true thing that happens. Start with Rewired episode 1. Rewired, R-E-W-I-R-E-D. It's on YouTube for free. You can watch that one for free. The rest of them you have to pay for in Gaia TV, but you don't necessarily have to watch them all. I'm dropping free links into Twitter right now. I'm dropping free links into Twitter. I have 1, 2, and 3 up already, so you can go there and you can watch them. I think they're only good for 24 hours, but watch this, okay? And then watch any Joe Dispenza meditation. He is amazing at it, okay? That's where to start. But anything is good. Just quieting your mind. If you just literally sit for 5 minutes and when thought comes, you see it come and you see it go, you're meditating and it's a practice. So just like you going to the gym for 5 minutes, it ain't gonna make you strong, it ain't gonna make you conditioned. You gotta do it. You gotta practice. That's why it's called a practice. The more you do it, the better you get at it, just like practicing guitar. It's that simple, okay? Cool. All right, enough of that. But there you go. I won't. And if you guys have things, put them in the chat here for other people so they know that I'm not crazy and they know that other people are meditating and that they're doing these great things and expanding their minds, because there is amazing ways to do it, and it's all out there for you. It will help with your guitar playing. It'll help with your family life. It'll help with your sleep. It will help with anything that involves you, because it brings you to a different level. I didn't believe it either. I'm one of the biggest skeptics in the world. So if you think you're bigger than me in your skeptic bit there, get behind me, because I'm one of the world's biggest skeptics, and I 100% have found this to be true, and now science is actually showing why it is true. Okay, cool, done. All right, there you go. EFT tapping is another one, indeed, yes. Yes, 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 yes. All right, friends, here you go. Please like this video if you have not already. If you have, don't do it again. Share this video with a friend, because we got to some great stuff today, and I want to help other people to focus on things that are good right now. There's so many things great happening in the world. If you don't know that the world is transforming right now, just follow some different people. And it's not the media. It's not MSNBC or CNN or Fox or any of those. They have an agenda. They do. Follow folks that are filled with light, right? We know we know a tree by its fruit that it bears. If an apple tree that never bears fruit, you chop it down. If it has fruit coming from it, it is what it is. That's the proof. So follow people that are hopeful, people that are kind, people that are loving, and there's lots of them out there on YouTube. You just do have to do some searching. Search Joe Dispenza, you'll find other things will start showing up in your feed, okay? How do I always go down these rabbit holes? Like this video, subscribe. That's what we're trying to do here is get other folks to focus on good things that are happening right now, because there's beautiful things happening. The world is waking up. We're moving into a place of enlightenment. It's happening. Whether you're on board or not, it's happening. I suggest you get on board, because it's an amazing time in history. It's a beautiful time. I know sometimes it takes something rough to wake us up, okay? Love you guys so much. For those of you that are having issues with the audio, I apologize. Other people are not having issues with the audio. I don't know why it is. It's something to do with YouTube. The donations today were off the hooks. We've never done, it was $725. That's enough to pay my crew for a little while here. So thank you, and to pay for the studio. So you guys, thank you so much for coming through for me here. You guys rule. Real quick, get the PDF and go to UGS Standard. Download UGS Standard, or at least get in that program. It's free for you, and it will absolutely help bolster what it is that you're trying to do on guitar, okay? That's free for you today. Now, if you would, go check out my buddy Corey Congilio. He's an amazing guitar player. When I grow up, I want to play like Corey. And he's an amazing teacher and an amazing dude, okay? Ask him about meditation and stuff. He and I, we riff on this stuff together as well. He's a like-minded dude and a great guy. Okay, I'm going to go over there too and join it right now if he's on, okay? Love you guys. We'll drop that link one more time in here for you, and thank you again so much. What a beautiful day, and you guys are amazing. Tomorrow, we're going to be back with Finding Your Why, possibly the most important psychological lesson that you need to go through to find out what it is you should be practicing in the direction that you're going, not just with guitar, but with anything in life. If you can answer what finding your why is, and I'm gonna quiz you on this a little bit, then everything else will open up, because now you know the direction you're supposed to be going in, right? A map doesn't help if you don't know where you're going. Very important. Songwriting. My wife's going to join us tomorrow, hopefully. Okay, we don't have a babysitter, so my kid's going to be running around like a banshee. My wife, who's like on 13 million albums, she's a legit songwriter, is going to be joining us tomorrow talking about songwriting. We're going to talk about this as well. Okay, I love you guys. I've talked too much. Bye. See you tomorrow.